Let's break down the situation with super microcomputer stocks today. As we can see, the stock is in a free fall, having already dropped by 27% and still continues to decline. The entire week has been negative for this stock with losses every single day, and we've already drawn a massive 35% drop candle. Naturally, we are now returning to the $350 level, but I'll talk more about that later. Let's discuss the levels. We'll definitely analyze the support and resistance levels based on options, as well as volatility. I'll show you everything that's happening here. Market forecast, what's in store for this company's market. Is bankruptcy looming or not? Most importantly, you can watch my previous videos about this company. I practically predicted that this would happen. My friends, I was literally shouting in every video that this stock's collapse was imminent, and sooner or later, it would fall to the $350 level. And that's exactly what has happened. Let's start from the beginning. I'll show you the news that triggered this company's decline and read a brief excerpt from an article, along with my comments. Reuters AI server maker Super Microcomputer delayed the filing of its annual report, citing a need to assess its internal controls over financial reporting, sending shares down 25% in heavy trading on Wednesday. The delay comes one day after short seller Hindenburg Research said it had taken a short position in the stock, alleging accounting manipulation at the company. Since peaking in mid-March, Super Micro shares have been in a downward spiral, losing nearly two-thirds of their value following a boom in AI stocks. It was not immediately clear if Super Micro's decision was related to the Hindenburg report. The company declined to comment beyond its statement on Wednesday when asked about Hindenburg's allegations. Without a doubt, it's very difficult to say whether there were manipulations or not at this point. This will require a more in-depth investigation. However, when it comes to serious manipulations or bankruptcy, I still don't see that happening. After all, the company entered the SP 500 index, where information, including reports, is closely monitored, and has no substance is not something I can agree with. Now, let's take a look at volatility and what's happening here. As we can see, volatility is off the charts, especially for the near-term expiration dates, reaching as high as 200%. This, my friends, is extremely high. If we look at the longer-term expiration dates, volatility is around 100%, which is also very high. But even for the super long-term expiration dates up to 2026, volatility is at 70%. What can I say? Naturally, it's challenging to track the volatility smile right now because it's trending both towards a decline and an increase in the stock price. In other words, volatility is rising across both put options and call options. Typically, volatility is more pronounced with put options, meaning put options are usually more expensive than call options because investors and traders buy put options. However, there's no such skew here, especially at the nearer strikes. Theoretically, the potential for growth remains. Of course, I believe in a rebound as well, but I'll explain my logic for that a bit later. Now, let's look at the historical and implied volatility. Without a doubt, the data displayed here is not entirely accurate at the moment. This is evident because historical volatility is at around 100%, while implied volatility, shown by the white line, is around 40 to 50%. Ideally, these graphs should adjust a bit, but the graph is currently not entirely relevant. Next, let's look at the support and resistance levels. This is the most important chart at the moment, the trading volume in options. First, let's focus on the call options. The largest volume is concentrated at the $500 level. We successfully broke through this level today, so it's no longer relevant. This level will serve as significant resistance, but again, a lot could change before we reach it. Now let's look at the support levels. For us, the focus is primarily on the put options, what's happening here. As we can see, there are huge volumes in put options, with 40,000 contracts concentrated at the $400 level. This is the range we are currently struggling to break through. If you're familiar with the derivatives market, you would have immediately recognized that $400 would be an impenetrable wall. And that's exactly what happened. Even before trading began, when the stock first started to drop, if you had been monitoring the volume levels, you would have realized that $400 would be the first stop. And that's exactly what happened. I fully expect that by the end of the day, the stock will rebound and trade above $400. Again, I'm almost certain of this, but it's difficult to say with 100% certainty. If there were an opportunity to sell one-day options, like those expiring today, I might have tried something like a $400 put for a hefty price. I think it would have been priced around $2,000, $3,000 today, although of course its price would fluctuate. Consequently, if the price rises above $400, we would pocket all that money. But beyond that, I can't guarantee anything because if we manage to close above $400 today, then tomorrow there's no strong confidence. For now, this level holds, and if we pause here, I fully expect the price to trade within this range for a while, or perhaps even begin to rise. What will happen if we break through it? The price will immediately drop to the $350 level. There are no resistance or support levels here. We'll just fall straight to the previous 2023 peak, back to that massive growth. And here I'm quite confident again, not 100%, but with a high degree of certainty that this is where we'll see a stop. I believe that $350 is a very significant level for now, after which I wouldn't be surprised if we see a bounce and a new round of growth. Again, this is just my opinion. Next, we have levels at $300 and $250, but we're still far from that. Why do I think this way? Because as the article mentioned, a certain fund was shorting these stocks and they've been successful so far. We also have a huge percentage of short positions, which, by the way, was recently increased. This actually all happened in August. At the end of July, the short interest was only 10%. So I believe there are many short sellers in this stock who have already made their profits. On top of that, even more short sellers are piling in, and I think there could be a sharp short squeeze. I'm saying that we might see a short squeeze potentially pushing the price up to $500. I wouldn't be surprised if we drop to $350 and then quickly rise to $500 within a few weeks before starting a gradual decline to $300 and then lower. This is my preliminary view, but again, don't risk your money, just look at what's happening here. I've said for a while that this could happen. What do I think about this situation? I've already talked about it, but I'll repeat myself in my view. This is a colossal scam. A scam targeting ordinary people and pensioners. Let me explain what I mean. We saw that at the beginning of 2024, the stock rose by 300%. Obviously, it started to fall and would likely have continued to fall, but it was suddenly included in the SP 500 index. Naturally, this wasn't done without a reason. Someone decided to cash in on pension funds. As we can see, after the stock was included in the SP 500 index, it grew a little more, stabilized, and during this time, the funds that were literally required to buy this stock did so, using pension funds, investors' money, and passive investments basically, spending ordinary people's money while Wall Street sharks were cashing out. Then, consolidation occurred. Most likely, this was the second tier of investors, those who bought in and also wanted to cash out. And so practically all the money was withdrawn by those who wanted to, and the stock was left to freefall. Now, all the pension funds, passive managers who bought this stock are losing money. As usual, ordinary people were deceived, and that's what bothers me the most. I'm not upset about the stock itself. I'm not saying it's bad that it was included in the SP 500 index. Okay, if it had been added to the SP 500 somewhere here, sure, it went up, then down, but no one would have lost much. But that's not what happened. It was added at its historical peak, and naturally, it's now falling. It doesn't matter what the trigger was, I always said it would eventually fall back. And so it did, it fell, but now ordinary people are losing money. That's what I dislike, not the company itself. And it's not just that it was included in the SP 500 index, but rather what happened afterwards. Again, if you disagree with me, if you have a different opinion, feel free to write in the comments what you think about this situation. Maybe you believe that pensioners weren't deceived and that everything happened as it should have. If that's the case, please provide your reasoning. Let's see if people agree with you or not. Now, let's move on to the market forecast. What's happening here? Let's look at September. There's actually very little time left, but the market is predicting with higher probability that the stock will stay around $400 to $410. So we're really talking about this range, maybe with a slight increase. Now let's look at longer-term dates, like the end of 2024. Here, as we can see, the market is showing an interesting shape. We have quite a significant forecast for the $310 to $320 level. And we also have a strong forecast for the $380 to $440 level. So we have these two humps forming, which is rare to see. But again, the market is expecting something. It expects that either everything will be fine and will continue to grow, or something will happen and will drop sharply. For example, the $350 range isn't even being considered as a significant level, which is very interesting. Now let's look at March 2025. Things are even worse here. The market is pricing this stock down to $300 and at some points even $280. During a recession, this stock could easily drop to $200 or even to $100 if the recession is severe enough. And this could very well happen. I'll give you a spoiler right now, printing money by the Federal Reserve won't help. That's a little spoiler for you, but that's something for later. Some people won't believe it, but again, when I recorded this video and showed you these covers, which I obviously haven't changed, nobody believed it either. Everyone was euphoric and writing in the comments that I was an idiot and didn't understand anything. And now I want to see the reaction of those people who believed in this company. My friends, if you're still here, please write in the comments what went wrong. After all, you all believed that the stock would be worth $2,000 to $5,000, and of course I was wrong. But now it's clear that something didn't go as expected. So my friends, please write in the comments what exactly didn't work out. Why didn't your forecast, which predicted that the stock would keep growing indefinitely, come true while my prediction did? I'll tell you why my prediction came true. It's because I look at the market. I'm not making the predictions myself, I'm simply saying what the market shows. That's why my predictions are so accurate. My friends, it's not even my opinion, this is the secret. I'm just stating what the market says. Now look at this March 2025, the stock will be worth $250. That's my prediction. But again, it's not really my prediction, it's the market's prediction. And I wouldn't recommend going against the market because it's the market, it incorporates all available information. If the market is wrong, well, the market made a mistake and it's no big deal. I won't lose much from it. Now let's take a look at the 3D volatility level and see what's happening. This is where all the information about volatility and options is concentrated. Professionals often use this chart for trading. Also, my friends, I often show how you can play this stock through options. But right now I won't show you because someone might accidentally open a position and lose money. Plus, there's a lot of volatility here. My friends, the most effective strategy here is selling options, that is, selling volatility. But if you sell options incorrectly, you could literally lose all your money. So I won't even give you an approximate idea of how I would play it. If you want to see my previous strategies that I built through options, check out my previous videos in the playlist section of Super Microcomputers. I hope you understand what I mean. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to write them in the comments. Also, I recommend watching my previous video about NVIDIA stocks. There I discuss what we might expect after the earnings report, which is due today. Afterward, I'll record a video about what actually happened with NVIDIA's stock. Good luck, everyone.